Is there any difference between what kids should consume versus what parents should consume?
There is a clear-cut difference. So, how clean the gut of that baby or the child is in the initial years, that is till 8 years, is what is going to set the base for them in the coming years of life.
So if you're doing enough physical activities, why can't you eat anything junk? 5 chocolates if I do a lot of physical activities, why not?
Now, there's a clear-cut respect and space both for nutrition and exercise. You cannot let go of one part. That, oh, my child is eating, as I said, boiled food, so you don't need to exercise. Versus, oh, my child is so active, morning classes, evening classes, and so let the child eat every junk food in the world.
Is it okay for children to go out and play if it's very cold? Hi everybody, welcome to yet another podcast of Fitbuds for Parents. It is said that what goes in your body becomes you. It is related to the food that we eat. If we're eating good quality food with good nutrients, it definitely impacts our body better. Not just in the short term, but also in a very, very long term. If we talk about the importance of food and nutrition for our own selves as parents, we should understand that as kids because they're just getting started with their building up their entire body. It is even more important. Who better than Sonam, who is a nutritionist for the last 13 years, to know more about kids' nutrition from? So here we are. Please welcome Sonam. Hi Sonam, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Aditya. Very well.
So let us know, Sonam, from you, what is the importance of nutrition for everyone?
Okay. So nutrition is something which I feel is of prime importance, right? I believe our bodies are our temples which should be worshipped with the right food. There is still, the population is still divided between two sort of people where the entire population has understood that nutrition, good food, lifestyle is very important. And then there is another set of population which still is struggling to give importance to nutrition. And by nutrition, I mean something that you eat today will reflect tomorrow on you. And it has to start right from the childhood. So in simple words, as a parent, it is very important that before you think about what clothes your child needs to wear, you think about what food they need to start eating.
Well, that is very interesting because whenever there is celebration, let's talk about festivals, we do care about food and clothes.
Correct.
But I don't think that we talk about the nutritional aspect of food. We talk about the taste aspect of food. So, any thoughts on that?
See, it's a big time myth that nutritional food cannot be tasty. Okay? Nutritional food. No, nutritional food can be equally tasty, colorful, and appealing to kids. It's how you present it to them, right? Kids are born with complete blank slate, right? A child born in a vegetarian family versus a non-vegetarian family does not know what is going to be served to them. The habits are made right from the beginning. So before the child can actually typecast that this is junk food or this is nutrition food, you make it a normal habit that we eat this. There is no maida, there is no soda, there is no packaged food in the house, right? So when it comes to throwing parties or inviting guests, we do think about taste, but I would completely advocate that nutrition cannot be compromised for bringing good taste. For example, if we are making white pasta, you don't have to make it from maida. Today you have amazing alternatives like you can use oats, you can use gluten-free millets. So it's just how you just do a little homework, a little extra effort.
We learn a lot of those tricks in a bit. I want to first understand from you that we're talking about kids' nutrition specifically. Correct. In this episode.
Correct.
Is there any difference between what kids should consume versus what parents should consume?
Yeah. So if you're talking about kids versus adults, there is a clear-cut difference because as I say, a child when it's born, that's the growing the formation is happening, the base is happening of muscles, bones, brain, everything. So how clean the gut of that baby or the child is in the initial years, that is till 8 years, that is what is going to set the base for them in the coming years of life, and especially when their hormonal changes are happening, that is from 12 to 14, be it both a female or a male child. Wow. Right? So a lot of parents do not understand, and they overshadow ki it's all right, it's baby fat, let the child eat. Or in our Indian culture, we have these joint families where love is only shown through food. Let the child eat. And then in the family there is one mother or one parent who's always sabotaging, don't eat this, don't eat this. But if you understand, kids will eventually end up eating junk food while they grow. But if you set their gut to be so strong in the initial 5 to 10 years that their digestion becomes so strong that they can eat and break down every food that they eat. So in my industry, what I say, it is not what you eat, it is how you digest it. And that can only happen when it is done right in the childhood. Today, if I and you try to change our digestion systems, it won't. It can alter. We'll have to take support. We'll have to do certain Ayurvedic practices, but we cannot change it.
Let's go one step back. Let's understand what is gut and what does the gut do for you.
So when I conduct workshops, I tell the parents, your gut, your stomach is like a forest. Okay? If the flora and fauna of that stomach is disturbed, nothing will get digested. So ideally when a baby is born, they poop themselves, they digest the milk, they learn everything. So the body is a beautiful machine which is sent to function everything properly. That is, they eat, they digest, and they excrete. But while the formations of the ears are happening, because of lifestyle, because of our love through food, we disturb the gut health of that baby right there. Which we do not understand that we are doing damage more than the kind of love we are trying to show. So gut health for child basically comes with 2 prime guidelines that I give to parents. A, do not introduce them to too many varieties and tantrums. For example, oh, my child is not eating this, let me give you this, let me give you this. What you're doing is you're spoiling the child's brain function that, there's always an alternative to something. No, this is cooked, you eat. The child will get hungry, the digestive juices will activate and they will eat it. Point 1 is that. Point 2 is while they are growing, follow certain protocols of how much food you're giving to them, the overfeeding needs to be stopped, many other parameters, So there is again a set of 2 parents, let me put it this way. There are a set of parents today who are eating too clean food, right? Like yesterday I was talking to someone, so their dinners are boiled carrots, some quinoa and some boiled beetroot and some yogurt. And my question was, your 10-year-old eats this? She's like, yeah, why not? I said, where is roti, sabji, dal, chawal? No, we only eat soups and salads in dinner. So she's growing to that culture. This is extreme. I think we are from a generation where we eat aloo puri, every traditional food cooked in the house. And our digestion is still way stronger, to be honest, than the generation which is gonna come in the next 20 years.
Of course.
Right? Because the parents are making it so fancy. Like I see chickpea flour wraps. Why do you need those packaged chickpea flour wraps, right? I mean, you can just cook chola in the house and give it to them. Yeah. Now then there is another set of parents who are absolutely carefree. It's okay. We are, they term themselves as we are this caste and we grow by eating good food. The more food we eat, the better the child is. Let the child eat, That is again extreme. So, you need to find a middle way of making sure whatever you're giving to your child is actually designing the ecosystem of digestion.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So, I think life revolves around balancing everything together. We're going to cover more details of balancing nutrition in a bit. But let me ask you the difference, if I want you to compare exercise for children versus nutrition for children, because what I understand is that for weight loss you need to, or to gain weight also, you need to balance the calories in versus calories out. So if you're doing enough physical activities, why can't you eat anything junk, which can be like maida, which can be fried, which can be sweets? 5 chocolates, if I do a lot of physical activities, why not?
See, personally, the theory that I work and the theory that I've been living my life so far, and coming from a sports background as a child, I would not agree on this part that, if you're working out and, let's talk about kids between 5 to 12 years of age group. If they're doing some exercise, they're playing tennis, or, they're going for a dance class, and they are spending 1 hour of cardio in any form, then as a parent or as a child, you can compensate by, as you said, 5 chocolates or a pizza or a junk food. That should never be the calculation. Okay. Now, there's a clear-cut respect and space both for nutrition and exercise. You cannot let go of one part. That, oh, my child is eating, as I said, boiled food, so you don't need to exercise. You can just sit every day, study and watch screen. Or you live a very fancy life, step in the car, go to school, come down, there's no park time, That is absolutely wrong. Versus, oh, my child is so active, morning classes, evening classes, and so let the child eat every junk food in the world. Because anyways, the child is burning it. My child looks fit, she's thin, she's tall, she's fit. You're just looking external aspect of it. You're not understanding what damage you're doing inside. Parallelly, you should let your child learn to also digest every single thing. So for example, I come from a school where if I have to end up eating maida, my body should be able to digest it. I shouldn't be so scared that, oh God, now I'll have loose stomach, oh God, I'll feel pukish, or I don't have anything to eat because, I can't eat maida.
And your gut health, how strong your gut is, that helps you digest.
Yes, how you digest, how you poop.
And how do you make your gut health better, like for children who are, like you said, till the age of 8 years old?
Correct. So there are certain food groups which are a must. Okay, so the first thing is no stale food should be given to kids. By stale, I mean something which is cooked overnight and then fed the next day. With the modern lifestyle that we have, the working parents, the nuclear families, the concept of eating fresh food is going so down. And especially in all the global schools, the kids are served food in the school, right? So try to feed them as much fresh food, because the amount of food is fresh, the better the digestion is. Now this could also mean something which is a little junk also, but it has to be fresh. Now second, make sure that if your child is able to digest milk, milk should be given. Milk is a wholesome food, right? So when the baby is born, for the initial 1 year, they're only having milk. And that is the main growth that you see from this much child, the child becomes bigger, right? And that's only primarily through milk. So if your child is able to digest milk, please give them milk. Then nuts are very important, which means a handful of walnuts, almonds, seeds. Now you can make a homemade mixture out of it, or you can just make sure every morning they wake up and they eat these things. Prunes, all the streamlines of your prunes and cranberries, very, very important. A single serving of fruit, again, is very important for your child. So there is a whole list where we, guide the parents and teach them that these are the things. Rather than giving those probiotic bottles, it's better you give them buttermilk made in the house. A lot of parents, they feed their kids probiotics. Right. Oh, it's good for the stomach, or they need it. And also the advertising, the way it's done, I would end up buying it. Oh, it looks so good, let me try it. So try to keep it directly from the kitchen. Yeah.
Unhealthy to consume probiotics?
See, I won't say it's unhealthy. No, I won't say it's unhealthy. Prebiotics and probiotics are needed to fix the gut health. But as I said, when the child is born, their gut is not damaged. We are damaging it by giving them preservatives, and the sugar content is so high in that probiotic. Right. So figure out something which is available in the market, which is written by the doctor, prescribed you, which is low in sugar. And honestly, the biggest damage, my heart aches when I see kids drinking soda in birthday parties. I actually go and tell them, listen, don't have this. This is
soda, 0-calorie soda.
Yeah. Right? The question that you put across. right? So, and it is so sad. I see kids going to school with Tetra Pak juice as the first thing in the stomach. Imagine, so how we talk, when you wake up, your gut is warm, right? It's a warm stomach. And if you pour something cold and packaged on that warm utensil, that's what I call my stomach as a utensil, what will happen? The entire fire and the digestion is gone, and that's why the child is saying, I have tummy aches, I don't feel hungry, I have to rush to the washroom. The child needs to be given warm breakfast, which means oats, milk. So forget everything that I've told. Just keep one thing in mind as a parent: feed your child warm breakfast. No cold milk, no cold coffees, no cold milkshakes. Warm milk, warm oats, maybe a poha, maybe a roti. Go back to the times when we would go to school eating a chapati in the morning.
Correct. This comes from the wisdom of Ayurveda.
Absolutely. So I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, right? So I mix modern science with Ayurveda. I've been practicing Ayurveda for the last 7 years, and it's a beautiful way of looking around how roots or how our Ayurveda Vedas always told us what is to be eaten. So this is absolutely from an Ayurvedic perspective.
And that's amazing because, modern science. I think Ayurveda is getting a lot of recognition in the entire, like, anywhere that you go. Something that has come out from India, we can say yoga and Ayurveda, which are very scientific also, and people are accepting it throughout the world. That's amazing. Um, Let us just touch upon, you said that about fresh food, no stale food.
Correct.
If we talk about anything that is packaged, it is at least uh, val good up to 1 week. Let's talk about the bread that we get, or a month. Let's talk about the cans that we get, or maybe 6 months, even 1 year. Those are not fresh, even before the expiry date.
Okay, so I'll elaborate. Now, the point is, of course, they are not fresh, okay, because anything which is packaged, so they are airtight. That's how you maintain the life of it, So I've been to factories where the milk Tetra Paks are made, when we were studying, which is years back. So they're not bad. Let's say because you don't have an alternative, because your lifestyle is like this, that you need to have those things, of course you will. You don't have to go gaga over, oh, I'm only going to eat fresh. But as an effort should be made that frozen. So I'll give you a very classic example, Aditya. In Indian houses, you will see all the Indian mothers and moms and dadis store peas in the freezer, off season.
Yeah.
We have grown up opening the freezer to seeing peas in the freezer or carrot. That is wrong. Being in India, why would you cold storage? You're not living in a country. Let's say for people who are staying abroad, I understand. I work with a lot of NRI parents. For them, I understand that they don't get fresh food. So they have to end up eating frozen food. But staying in India, why are you freezing off-season stuff?
Interesting.
Because, again, as per Ayurveda, the life of that food has already died. And you're eating a dead food which has no energy, which is in Hindi called urja.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
So you see set of two kids. One kid is always active, happy. What is that?
Eating like urja food.
Exactly, Aditya. And then
What
there
goes in your body reflects.
absolutely. Give them 3 solid meals, proper meals. Don't let them binge in between. Don't do that. Don't make their stomach used to digestion for every 2 hours. Give them 3 proper meals. Keep them high on water. Keep them high on liquids. Right? They are growing. They need to get the right thing right now. They will end up eventually having junk. For example, I'm a mother, right? No matter whatever habits I inculcate in her, she's a 10-year-old beautiful girl, but she will still end up hiding and eating some chips, right?
You've done it.
Which is
Why
okay.
wouldn't you?
Exactly. I have
I'm
grown
that
up
way.
eating Maggi, right? I've grown up eating samosas, and so anyway, samosa is such a good thing to be eaten over something, again, let's say, which is packaged, because samosa has aloo, it is fried, it is fresh. Of course, fried is something which is we do not recommend, but when you have to compare, let's say you have to compare a maida wrap, which is kept in a fancy cafeteria, packed 10 hours before, versus a dhaba who's just frying the samosa fresh. As a parent, that's a very tricky choice.
Yeah, I think samosa, most parents would
80%,
not prefer.
exactly. 80% will buy that wrap.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one more very interesting thing. I did a experiment myself. So there's some brand, I won't name the brand, lassi, which gets stale after 2 weeks. They have an expiry of 2 weeks. And there's another brand which gets expired after 90 days.
Okay.
So I asked many of the parents that which one would you prefer buying? And everyone said that this which has more shelf life. So, and later they realized that if there is more shelf life, it has more preservatives and hence it is not so good for you.
And that's a very beautiful way of shopping. So whenever you go to these stores, please look at the shelf life, whether it's bread, juices, anything, and the product which has lesser shelf life is the one that you're buying.
Just the contrary of what people
It's because it is evaluated by the cost evaluation.
Yeah.
If I'm paying 20 rupees, it should stay in my fridge for at least 90 days. That's how, we do it,
Yeah.
which is sad. It's like, I'll tell you, okay, it's a very funny example. So if I'll tell you that they go and get your blood test done and you'll spend some thousands of rupees in your blood test.
Yeah, and if the blood test report is fine, I would be like, what a poor suggestion. Yeah, because I knew I was healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to see, oh, I should be sick to waste that money.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes, for parents again and for kids, you should teach them. Like, for example, so there is something called Aditya genetic versus habits. Right? So I come from a family where genetically obesity, sugar, and a lot of other diseases have transferred from generations to generations. Okay, and it becomes very easy and comfortable as a part of a family to say, it's okay, we have a tendency to put on weight, or we have a tendency to get sugar. So what can we do about it? It's all right. You know what? It's not all right. You can actually break that genetic by changing the habits. It comes with a lot of discipline, a lot of consistency, but you can break it. So I was the first one in my family, and I remember I was in grade 12, and that is the first time I realized that, okay, I need to break this genetic of being overweight. And it came with discipline, right eating, studying, and that's when I, got into nutrition, understanding what I'm eating, how it's affecting my lifestyle, my exercises. And so, for example, my daughter, of course, she's also carrying genes of my side of the family, and of course, the father side also, which is also genetically coming from a heavier side of the family. Now, as a child, it is very easy to say it's okay, it's baby fat, she's supposed to be like this, but it's not okay. What changes you can do in the initial years will change the genetic of that child. So, as a parent, and that's my message to all the parents today, that please invest in setting a discipline for yourself first, then your child. Your child observes you at a very micro level. So, for example, my daughter sees me waking up every morning, doing my breath work, having my bowl of nuts, going for my exercises. I don't carry a guilt as a working mother, oh, I'm not spending time with her, or, I'm not standing at the bus stop to drop her. You don't have to invest at those micro involvement. You want to give your child a bigger picture of changing the habits, of making the right choice. I cannot tell my child that you cannot do binge eating, but I am sitting in front of OTT in the night and ordering food from Swiggy.
Yeah.
You can't do that. We came from a generation where there was no Swiggy. Everything was cooked fresh in the house, right? So make wiser choices, and trust me, today the resources are in our favor, Aditya, right? We cannot blame that, oh, it's not available. Everything is available. Healthy food is available, right? So I'm not saying cook every day, but even if you're ordering, just make the right choice, make the right habits, and your children will pick up those habits, and you can actually break the genetics right there.
One of our guests in the previous podcast, she used a phrase, kids are like mirrors. They will do what you do. And we cannot expect them to be different.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's not true for every child, I believe, because I've seen parents being very, very like consistent with their food and nutrition, but kids pick things from the school, from the environment, from the TV ads, and there are lots of kids who are like picky eaters. and salads, greens, fruits. There are lots of kids who don't want to consume that.
Correct.
We talk about the colorful plate, but they want just white on their plate.
Correct. And you know what, Aditya? It's okay. They are kids. You know, they are kids. You and I probably ate the most of the junk foods while we were growing, you know.
I did not.
Okay.
Okay, fingers crossed. Sorry, I did.
You did, right? Yeah, so did I. I think I was the biggest junkie eater, you know, and it's all right. Your kid is supposed to be normal. That the child is supposed to be a child. She needs to have candy. He needs to have chips. But what I'm saying is 80% of the food should be monitored. You know, even if you end up eating a burger, you do a conversation with the child. Talk to your kids. Tell them that today we are indulging in junk food. You know, your words, they leave an impression. Right?
Indulging
We are
in
indulging
junk food.
Exactly.
It's like doing something like a crime, but
like an event. We are doing a teamwork to indulge.
Okay.
It's not normal for us to everyday eat. So, for example, my daughter, when she goes to school, because she's brought up in a house where this is our culture, right? So for her, it is very natural not to have soda. So I'll give you a very small example. So when my daughter was between 5 to 8 years old and we would go to birthday parties, she would not eat white sauce pasta. She would not eat cold drink. She had never tasted a pizza. Only thing she would eat was French fries. And the friends would tease her, Janisha, how come you're not eating this pasta? How are you not having soda? My child did not get irritated or did not felt bullied. Because for her, it was normal not to develop a taste of food items I didn't want her to develop a taste for. It is like there are kids who have never eaten ketchup because they were never exposed to ketchup, right? Like I'm a vegetarian. I would never eat something which is not under the category of vegetarian. I'm not exposed to it. So as a parent, what you're exposing your child is what matters. Now when my daughter has turned 11, we were traveling. That was the first time I made her had Limca because she was having some gastric. So I had no chemist shop around. She didn't like the taste. She's like, this is so sweet. How do people drink it?
I don't believe it. Wow.
Right? So this is how you play around with the kids. You know, you have to just, of course, it comes with a little effort. See, the moment we make it easy, you know, give them a packet of chips, give them a packet of biscuit. They will never want to work hard on making the right choices.
So true.
And also, Aditya, the portion of the junk food. So the kids should have Maggie, they should have chips, they should have burgers, everything. But the portion, which is a big miss, kids end up overeating. As an Indian mentality, we would want to finish the food that we have ordered. We can't waste it.
yeah, I have a lot of examples of that where if a child has requested for a burger, the child needs to finish the burger and the parent is like, you can't waste food.
Which is wrong, and that is the first step of making that gut grow oversized from the requirement.
Oh my God.
Right? So don't make them come forcefully, of course, you know, when they're trying to run away from green veggies and roti and rice. And you also can gauge as a parent, you know, my child's stomach is full. So the size of the stomach is equal to 2 fists. So let's say, okay, so this is the size of my stomach, Aditya, and that's yours. That means we only need 2 fistfuls of grains or food in a day to function properly. In a day.
In a day. Oh,
Can you believe it?
wow.
That's the actual size of your tummy to
Uncooked grains.
Yes,
you say.
yes.
Interesting.
Right? Imagine we end up eating so much. Right? So make your kids, again, I know I might sound a little harsh here, but when we're talking about actually nutrition, make your kids fast one day only on fruits. That today mama and I are doing fruit day. Let's just have fruits. You know, it's such a beautiful way, or you compete with your child, right? And even by, let's say, evening you're not able to pull it, then you have your khichdi, dal, roti, sabji, but at least for one day the child develop the taste for just having fruits, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, so there are a lot of ways where you can play around, bring in those tricks.
So let me ask you a question about your consultations with parents. Any 3 most common questions that parents ask you?
Yeah. So I go to a lot of schools where, the first question is, what about milk? Because milk has become a very controversial topic now. And which is sad. The milk which is supposed to be so pure, has been adulterated, sadly, to make more commercial business. So today, I also think twice whether this milk is suiting me or harming me because of the injected hormones. So the first question and a topic of worry is milk, right? And the second question is, my child does not eat fruits and vegetables. All they eat is raw rice or maybe a chapati or a bread, cheese. That's what they're eating. The meat. What did you eat? Cheese. That's not a meal. So that's their second concern. How can I make my child have more fruits and veggies? And third, the sedentary lifestyle, which is the screen timing, that the child does not eat food till I play the screen, which is again a very, very crucial part of making your child enter a body full of diseases. Like why thyroid happens. It is an autoimmune disorder which is primarily because of the childhood the child had, which we don't understand. PCOD, PCOS, or a lot of things, even in the other set of kids. So this is all the prime years. Unless bad luck hits you, trust me, no disease can enter the body. It is our own lifestyle that we have put in. And for kids, we are responsible here. I never blame the child. It is us as parents. Even if, like you said, the child will go out, they will eat. They will get influence in the bus, in the school, which is okay. Talk. What did you eat? Oh, it's all right, you had chips. It's okay, just, avoid tomorrow. Or don't have sweet every day in the school. The school will serve sugar. Show them visuals, what sugar can do. Today, we are supported by technology in amazing manner, right? Show them the visuals that what sugar can do if it goes inside your body. And they relate to it. You just have to educate to them, right? It's just not putting the effort and making things easy.
Interesting. All right. I'm sure that a lot of parents must also ask you a few tips and tricks on how to. Mostly, both parents are working. Even if they're not, time constraint is there for everybody. What to cook for the child, and how do you make healthy eating like not effortless, but how do you save on effort
Yeah.
for
Oh, it
healthy
is
eating?
easy. Trust me, it is very easy. So for example, if there is a vegetarian, let's talk about a vegetarian. And protein is something which is, luckily now people are understanding the importance of protein for muscle growth. So, you don't have to make fancy meals. Just, soak some dal, put spinach into it, churn everything into a batter. Everything into a batter. One day you make a green dosa, one day you make a red dosa, like with beetroot, or spinach is a green dosa. Play around. Even if you put little cheese on it, it's okay. You don't have to make it very, very healthy. You should allow your child to be able to digest every single thing. You don't want to have a kid who cannot eat and put them in a category of lactose intolerant or gluten free. Don't do that. So simple tricks is, don't make fancy things. If they're not able to have greens and vegetables, just churn everything, and make a nice dosa or a wrap, okay? Involve your kids. At least on a Sunday or a weekend, tell your child, let's just pick up 5 ingredients from the kitchen, which you think is healthy, and let's just cook. Like those oats granola balls. Tell them the replacements like jaggery, desi khand, and we should not have white sugar. Make them cook, make them taste, participate with them. And those little efforts will also make them independent, and they'll make right choices. Also, one very simple tip, which I'm sure a lot of parents will agree, do not stock your house with junk food.
When there's access to chips, get junk, don't store consume it.
No. So let's say
and then not store it.
No.
Get as much as you want to consume, right?
Apps that can be also taken. But let's say in my kitchen, I'll have a box of makhanas rather than a box of nachos. But when my child is going on a picnic or a trip or it's a party, we'll just get 1 or 2 packets of nachos to be served. But when she's hungry in the middle of the day and she's going in the kitchen to find something, she will not find blocks of chocolates or blocks of chips and Tetra Pak juice. What she will find is maybe cut salad, fruits, makhanas, murmuras made in the house, panjiris made in the house, and the matris, which is, again, you can bake them, you don't have to deep fry them, right? We have shakkar paras, such beautiful ingredients we have, which is made in the Indian kitchen, right? When you stock those things, the child will eat. So, for example, winters, my house will always have peanut chicky, which is made from peanut and jaggery.
Wow.
Right?
I love it.
Exactly. Look at the two ingredients, jaggery and peanut. Correct? So when that is kept on the table versus something which is absolutely like
Chocolates.
exactly like those fancy bar packets or whatever, and the cost also you're paying for them is not justified. With no surety what has gone inside, the child will end up eating chicky only, no? And when you are eating, the child will also eat that. So don't stock your house with things which you don't want your child to be consumed. When you go out, you eat.
Correct. But I see a massive shift in the mindset of a lot of parents. I would not say all, but people are getting more conscious. They, like you also said, they are understanding nutrition better. There's a section of society which is catching up. There's a section of society which is already pretty much there.
Correct.
Do you also feel the same?
Yeah. And I think the prime role that two areas have done is the pediatricians have now started focusing and telling the parents, go and consult a nutritionist. Your child is gaining weight. Feed them the right food. Initially, the pediatricians would only be there to inject the child or to give the medicines. There was not a time when my pediatrician probably told my parent that, your child needs to lose weight. And the second area is, let's say, all the people like you who have come up in the industry aggressively bringing up kids' exercise as a very important activity. Rather than, oh, my child is going for, a foreign language, or my child is learning an instrument. This is one department which needs to be taken very seriously, that your child is doing 1 hour of exercise. So, like when I was a 10-year-old, I didn't know what was plank, I didn't know what was burpee, right? Or what was a squat. When my daughter did classes with you, right, which was during COVID, and I was worried, we are sitting in the house every day and you brought up this concept. Today, when she talks to other kids, she feels very proud of herself, exactly, and B, she likes it. It's gone into her system. Right? But I don't push it where I make it like a punishment. You don't do that to your kid. Let them sleep in the blanket if it is winters. Don't tell them, go do your running, go do this. Don't make them feel like a punishment. Let them see, okay, mama is going. They will do it eventually when they are there. But you've exposed to them.
Interesting.
So I would say every parent at one point should make their kids do some sort of extracurricular as a fitness regime that you run. Just do it for a couple of months, that's it, right? Because the child will get exposed to it. They will see the difference.
If we talk about
The winters, is it okay for children to go out and play if it's very cold? Like, we get a lot of queries from parents that we are taking a 1 month break because it's too cold. Personally, I feel that if children go out in the winter, the body gets warmed up. That is how they build immunity for the next 1 to 50 or 100 years.
Correct.
Um, let's talk about myths.
Yeah.
Some of your favorite myths that you would want to bust.
So let's start with the one that you touched. Okay. And that is very true. A lot of parents will withdraw. Okay, it's too cold, it's dark, don't step out. The problem is layering of clothes. Point one, that you're not layering your child properly and you're not undressing the child immediately the child has come back home. Now in Ayurveda, we talk about temperature outside and temperature inside. Since the temperature outside is going down, it is very important to keep the temperature inside high, which can be only done by eating foods which are warm in their tasir, and second by doing some exercise. Okay, so tasir is a Hindi word, and it is basically every food component has its own heat or cold temperature to it. So for example, all the parents who are scared and they withdraw from winter participation outside, please start giving your kids sesame seed in any form. A, it will increase their calcium. B, it will keep them warm from inside.
What I also kind of understand is most of the things which are high in fat content, for example, most of the seeds will have a like warm tasir.
Yes, will have an impact of increasing the internal temperature of your body. Let me put this way to break a myth for everyone. So let's say you and I are sitting, okay? You are just wearing one sweatshirt because that's the requirement of your body. I am wearing 3 layers. So there are people in the house that, they feel very cold and there are others who don't. And then there's whole debate, oh, how come you're feeling so cold? How come you're not feeling so cold? Because the body temperature is different. Which again you can change, Aditya. Like there was a time when I would feel so cold, but because when I started eating warmer foods in winters, I felt that okay, now I'm not feeling that cold. Similarly goes for kids, and again it is done the right way in the childhood. So a lot of parents, what they do, they overlayer their kids, which is restricting their body, their original body, to create the right temperature to handle the outside temperature. So do not overlayer your kids, and it's a request, heartfelt request, that especially for all the North Indians, December and January is a prime month where your child should go out and do some sort of exercise, running, dancing, skating, tennis, whatever it is. You will see amazing benefits, multifold benefits in the coming years.
Okay, next question. Can you just comment on Sonam as a mother versus Sonam as a nutritionist, different challenges?
Yeah. We've had this conversation, me and my daughter, and there was a time when she would come and tell me, Mama, can you be a normal mom? Can you not be like other moms are? And I didn't get that. I was like, what do you mean? Mama, we're just eating too healthy. My family members would just not leave a scope of teasing her. Oh, you only eat green and red chilas, and So she would get irritated to a fact, and I was okay with it. I was like, it's all right. And I never ever stopped her from eating junk food. There were certain things I wanted her to take time, like soda was one of the things, because I know what soda damage can do. So see how beautiful it is that whenever I drink soda, which I do by choice, maybe at times with fancy meals, she will come and tell me, Mama, see, you're drinking soda. You can't. When you told me not to have, how can you have? And that is, I know it's gone in the system.
Wonderful.
So you just have to have these conversations. There is no stoppage to it. We do go out. As I always say, we indulge. When we travel, we indulge. You have whatever junk food you want to have. But when we are coming back, we do have a word, Jinisha, that beta, for 5 days, we were abusing our stomach. For next 3 days, we're only going to eat roti, sabji, dal, rice, fruits. Keep it simple, maybe a warm dalia. And she appreciates it, right? And you have to be honest, you just cannot, as I said, kids, they mirror you. If I go out and eat, I tell her, what, today I had an ice cream and it was full of sugar, but I had a great time. So you don't have to put guilt in them, which sadly a lot of adults are carrying in them as a child. Guilty of eating something which is not healthy. Don't bring guilt. When you're indulging by choice. Enjoy it, right? If today you and I want to have a cheese pasta, we will enjoy it. We'll not guilt over it. No guilt.
We actually can.
Yeah. And second, do not make it like a punishment.
Yeah.
So as a mother, sometimes it is hard, but then we play around. As a nutritionist, it's easy because she respects my work. She's grown up seeing it. And she loves the fact when I narrate it to other kids. So she knows when, my mom is telling the other kids, I might as well do it. And as I said, it's not a Hitler rule in the house. You eat everything. There is bhujia, there is everything in the house. And she has nannies and dadis to spoil her to another level. I have to keep calling, don't send soya sticks, don't send these creamy biscuits.
But like we all know, food is for the soul. You need to build a relation with your food. Positive, negative, neutral, it depends. So I think it's a very good thing that you said that keep that positivity. Don't call it like a punishment.
Exactly. Yeah. So you want to be somebody, this is for your kids, that when they grow up, they can eat street food and yet come back home with no tummy aches and poop problem. That is what you have to work. So again, portions are very important. Make them eat everything. Everything.
Golgappas.
Everything. Oh yeah, my daughter and I are best Golgappa partners. We would go and eat Golgappas. But portion is important, right? The problem is when the portions are not checked upon. Okay, so for example, Aditya, there are kids where the moms is like, okay, you've done 1 hour of exercise. The moment they sit in the car, they are being fed. Oh, have this sandwich, have cold coffee, have this. The child is eating.
Glucose.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Now let's say the class got over from, I'm giving a very realistic example so that the population can relate to it. So a child did a 5 to 6 p.m. class. Now once the help or the mama picks, the first thing is you feed the child in the car. Oh, you must be tired. Have banana, have this. Then the child has reached home. Without even asking the child, are you full? Eat dinner, eat dinner, eat dinner. Arey Baba, you're overfeeding them.
Yeah.
Because the concept
Then
of...
I need to sleep early.
Yes.
Dinner is important.
Yes, which is not. So if you think and if you can gauge my child 8 does not require, please don't force them. Again, force feeding is a very big agenda which needs to be discussed at length.
But then, what do people do? Because they have their insecurities about the kid not eating. Every mother has it. I'm sure you had it yourself that at times Janisha would eat more a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks she would not want to eat more, and then you would be in a fixed key.
Yeah.
Can you share some tips how to know how much is needed for your child?
So you observe. Okay, so there was time when, let's say there's a 6-year-old child who's eating 1 chapati. Let's keep it to Indian meals, okay? And you're trying to increase it to 1.5 because the family's pressurizing you and they're saying, oh, it's a growing child. Give it, give it, give it. You start giving 1.5 and you see they're not eating. Don't force them. Let them finish 1 chapati. Suddenly you'll see over months, which is when they're from 7 to 8, that they will ask for second chapati themselves. That's the time you know their appetite has gone up, they are growing. So you start giving them 2 chapatis.
What I think moms do is they increase the size of the chapati and...
Yeah, because, because again as a mother, like for example, you're talking...
But that can be done.
Right? You observe. And again, Aditya, as a nutritionist for all the age groups, you and I will not feel hungry every day in the same manner.
Exactly.
Right?
True.
There are days when I feel more hungry. There are days when I don't. You cannot fix. So let the child demand extra food. A, because it's tasty, or B, the child is genuinely hungry. Second, if the child is not asking, do not force them. Ask them once or twice, are you hungry? Do you need anything? If the child says no, do not force them.
But how do we go about kids who are like underweight?
Yes. See, these are very specific cases where the child is underweight, where the child has some medical conditions, or they are extremely obese. Those are the cases where personalized customization needs to be done. Those are the cases where you work harder, you add some proteins in their batter, you have to make sure to sit down with them, spend more time. And yes, you have to make sure that the kids are not underweight or overweight. Both are equally damaging. And those are the cases where you have to get personalized sessions, understand what the child is eating. Also, over time, what happens is a lot of kids, their digestion is so weak that whatever they're eating, it's not showing result on their body. So as a parent, you're just worried that my child is eating enough, but it's just not showing on the body.
For example, you feed protein to your child, a lot of protein like eggs, paneer, everything. And the kid still is the same.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
So in such cases, where you can actually see the child is not growing, let's not call it weight, it's just not growing as per the standards that have been set. First thing is you consult the doctor. Maybe the child is actually deficient on certain things, and that's where the medicine and the prescriptions come in the picture. Okay. Apart from that, of course, you need to add on some superficial things in the child's meal, like some protein powders, or maybe Indian things like sesame seeds and sattu, where the growth starts happening. Just make sure your child is active, eating 1 fruit a day, good grains. They're participative, they're happy, they're drinking, and also they're pooping. Aditya, I'm working with 5 cases right now, age group of 10 and 12. These kids, they don't poop. Imagine the child is so uncomfortable that the child
Not
is
in the morning
not
or
in the morning, like
not at all,
two to
very less.
yeah, like 2 to 3 days they're not pooping, and the mother is a working mother. The help told the lady that the child is crying with tummy aches. They kept sorting tummy aches, but there was no conversation between the parent and the child because it's such a busy world that the child could not come up and tell such an important thing that I am not able to poop and I feel uncomfortable in school. So please talk to your kids on daily basis. Did you poop? It is very, very important that your child poops daily in the morning, first half of the
I
day.
think that age of 10 to 12 to up to 15, I think it's a very difficult time for, it's a very different time for children with to talk about poop.
But when you do, they'll understand. That's what we are here today to make a
Make them a little uncomfortable. Don't talk about it in public,
yeah, of
but
course, it's
in
a very
person,
private
you can
talk. Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
check with them.
Yeah, see, you're eating, we're digesting, it needs to excrete, and that's why the tummy ache is happening. So, a lot of kids they would say, tummy ache, tummy ache. What will parents do? Oh, you got a gas, let me give you colic acid. You got this, let me give you some hing vati, some Indian thing. End of the day, you realize at 10 p.m., the child went and pooped,
And suddenly started feeling better.
and you're not able to join the dots.
Let's go rapid fire.
Yeah, okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so quickly tell us about proteins for kids.
Okay. Very, very important. Should be given whether vegetarian or a non-vegetarian.
Proteins for vegetarians.
Pulses, paneer, chickpea, kala chana, quinoas.
Lactose intolerant kids.
It is a very, very possible thing that kids can be lactose intolerant. Good part is that now it's brought up. Initially, when we were growing, it was not even a topic. If your child is lactose intolerant, please stop giving them animal milk. Give them maybe plant milk or completely eliminate milk from their life.
Gluten.
Again, I would suggest if your child can eat wheat, please make sure that they are eating wheat throughout. Wheat is very important, but if you study, you do a medical checkup with the doctor, if they get a blood test, and you see they are gluten intolerant, then sadly, yes, your child has to be off gluten.
And gluten is mostly in wheat and many other grains
Many
also.
other grains, but then there is an ample amount of grains which can be now given to kids or adults who actually are qualified medically to be gluten intolerant.
Interesting. Calcium.
Very important growing age. So if at all needed, maybe some calcium supplements initially can be given, but again try to keep it natural. See, we are in an era where the genuinity of the product is very less than the times when we were growing up. So if you feel that the child is complaining of body aches, bone aches, growing pains, giving them vitamin D and calcium supplements, I would go by it.
Vitamins.
Very, very important. Vitamins, minerals, very important. So, again, as we talk about vitamin B12, vitamin D, vitamin A, vitamin C, all of them are very important. So, again, the thing is, pick up one for every from your kitchen. So, C is lemon. Make sure your child has a habit of squeezing some lemon in any form in your food. Vitamin D, again, through milk, through fruits, carrots. So just simple things, keep it simple and keep observing your child. If at all there is a deficit, then external help should be given. Do not hesitate from putting them on a supplement if needed. So absolutely, calciums and minerals are very, very important. Your child might eat less, which is okay, but please make sure that they are getting these supplements.
Obesity.
Oh, it's like a disease. Please do not, do not look into as a baby fat or whatever the terms are. If you know and accept it that your child is obese, sit down, have a talk to them. Because I am working with kids at prime schools in the class of 4th and 5th. They are being bullied in the school for being overweight. And your child does not deserve to go through all this. So please accept that your child needs to be counseled and checked upon the meal plannings. Even if you have to let go of your lifestyle, do it. You are responsible for your child's health.
Breathing issues with kids?
Breathing issues.
Yeah.
Okay, like the breath work that you're talking about?
So talking about the issues that kids mostly feel in cities where the pollution level is very high,
Okay. So see, okay,
respiratory issues.
yes, so I come from a very traditional way of living my life. So we do nasya regularly, which is again a beautiful Ayurvedic practice. So it's, putting oils in your nasal, which works wonderful in
Just through a dropper.
Absolutely. You have these Anu Telam, you can get at Amazon at hardly 100 rupees a bottle. And it's a practice, and it really helps to keep this area lubricated, right? And in cities like us, it's important. All the kids who have breathing and wheezing issues, make sure to make them do steam on regular basis. Certain smaller practice, which of course will require your time. Honestly, spending time on social media, might as well do these little practices. So steaming is there, nasya is there. Okay, and then again, we talk about oiling your navel points. So again, when you lubricate the prime area, everything inside gets lubricated. So what happens when you breathe these pollutants? Because there is oiling everywhere, they don't stick to your original layer of the skin.
Interesting. How many meals every day for a child? And the routine, importance of routine.
So again, repeating, and I live by it: warm breakfast, no cold breakfast, no raw white bread. Even if the bread has to be served, it should be toasted in ghee or butter. It should be cooked on fire or some instrument. So warm breakfast, okay. Lunch.
No lassi.
No, butter. See, again, buttermilk you can have. You can have lassi. Don't put ice into it, no?
Alright.
Right? But anyways, you're starting the first thing. So, okay, so again, as I said, we live in a house where the first thing that we do is drink a glass of hot water in the morning. So you're sorted, no? Your first thing that you pour is a hot water. So for kids, you can do this as a practice. First thing in the morning, your warm water is there, beta, drink it.
Okay.
Right? And you put a pinch of
Agree to it. Yeah.
Their digestion will go like this. Just put a drop of dry ginger, like a pinch of dry ginger, which is salt in Hindi, and you'll see the benefits. So warm breakfast, lunch has to be staple, whatever culture you're from, whether in South Indian, NRIs, whatever, good nice lunch, whether it's school lunch. Early dinners, now dinner should be more of veggies, because that's one meal you can sit together and eat as a family. Proteins should be there, veggies should be there, one grain should be there. A lot of parents, they eliminate, there is no carbs, your kids need carbs. We have all grown up eating roti, rice, bread, please give carbs to your kids. One fruit is very important. But again, the underlying statement is, do not overfeed. If they miss
Not two fruits. Apple and a banana.
minimum one is important, that's what I said. One serving is very important.
So if we're giving apple and a banana together, eat this also and eat this also together.
Perfect, you can. Ayurveda allows you to have 2 fruits at a time. Not like a full platter of fruits, but 2 fruits at a time, because every fruit has a different way of behaving in the body. So, but my point is, one serving of the fruit should go in your child's tummy. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, last question. Sugar.
Oh, I think it's the most criminal terminology, and sugar damages everything in your system, from your brain to your stomach. So eliminate white sugar from your house, from your kitchens. I'm not saying don't have it. Let's say your child is indulging into a donut, a pastry, a cake. Limit to that part. That's it. But in your house, stick to jaggery, desi khand, maybe honey, dates. But white sugar needs to go out. It is complete poison, if that's what I can say. Because we anyways end up consuming, Aditya, in some form, in breads, in biscuits, in any form. Not that we cannot eliminate it, but at least whatever effort we can do, eliminate it from the house.
Okay, so one extra question, sorry, sugar-free. And sugar-free for kids.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I will absolutely not like to entertain any of the audience who are giving any sugar-free to kids. I am absolutely not letting that happen.
Because it's too processed.
It is again poison. Why your child needs sugar-free? I'm sorry, this does not even make sense.
Someone is overweight, of course.
No, eliminate sugar. Why sugar free to a child, Aditya? I mean, we're going to damage their brain. It's a crime. All those adults who are consuming sugar free, it's a crime by choice. But you are an adult. Okay? A child is not supposed to have sugar free. I'm sorry,
Actually, it's written on the back side of the
there are tons of ways to reduce weight, yeah.
It's not meant for kids.
It is not. There are tons and tons. I don't personally, in my practice, Aditya, I don't let in females, anyone who's not conceived, take sugar free. I don't take that risk because it affects your uterus. Okay, so this is how precisely we take a chance with anyone. So kids, absolutely out of picture. There are tons of ways of making them reduce weight. Make them run. Running is such a beautiful thing of gaining health and losing
Burn
weight.
calories, yeah.
Absolutely. You earn it, na? It's okay, just run. Go and do it and do running with them. They love it when you.
You run?
I run a lot. Yeah. When I stop running, I'm checked. Why are you not running these days? I'm like, I'm tired. My knees need some repairing. So yeah.
Yeah, you need to do a lot of strength training.
It does. And involve
And you
him.
do.
I
saw
do.
your posts. Yeah.
And Janisha and I, we run together, and we stay in a society. We do 2-3 rounds, and so some of the people came and told me, "You're being so brutal to your child. What are you doing to her?" You know how you can expect these elderly people.
Faced a lot of.
Yeah, and Janisha is crying. I don't want to run. I hate you. What are you doing? I said, you will have to. I'm sorry. This is how we live. This is something you'll have to do. Mama does it. You will have to do 2 rounds with me, and then you're free. You can watch your screen time. Rather than acknowledging them for food. Okay, you do 5 rounds of running, then you'll get your donut. Try doing this. Barter it for screen time. You run 20 minutes, you do 20 minutes of workout, you get 20 minutes of screen. Trust me, it will work.
Amazing. That's a good solution. I think 20 minutes of screen time is like too less.
No, but let's just go.
For most kids, because usually screen time is for
Yeah, you can set your own equation, but
Yeah.
you say you get your screen time daily, but you make sure that you're running 20 minutes or doing whatever class.
I think it is very fair. 20 minutes of running, 20 minutes of screen time, that's it.
Yeah.
Wow. So a lot of interesting points, a lot of solutions.
Just habits, Aditya, as simple as that. Just picking the right habits and being consistent.
And I don't think you said anything that's too complex throughout the discussion.
I'm a mother myself, right? So it's hands-on experience of
How to make it simple, effective,
yeah,
efficient.
absolutely.
So it was a pleasure talking to you once again, and I hope the audience has benefited a lot. It takes time for them to absorb everything, but yeah, even if they took 1% of whatever we communicated, it's like a success for us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time, Sonam.
Thank you, Aditya. It was such a pleasure to discuss these topics, and I hope actually even 1% of the information is implied, they'll see benefits.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.